Hi, welcome to Aderans UK Live. We're back with you on Wednesday evening, 7 o'clock. Lovely to have everybody with us. Tonight we're doing a very practical evening, and I'll pass you over to Bradley in a moment as he knows all the different tasks that he's actually set me this week. So Bradley went off and decided we were going to be looking at autumn and winter 21. And I know most of you now are saying to yourselves, we've not even had summer yet. But that's the way. It's true. But that's the way we actually work in fashion. We're always at least maybe 18 months ahead of ourselves. So we're taking a look just 6 months ahead at this coming autumn and winter. Bradley's been looking through London, Paris, and Milan's fashion weeks um, to get his inspiration for this evening. So I'm going to pass you across to Bradley, and he's going to be able to explain why and what he's actually set me for my homework this week for all of you. Thank you, Bradley.
I love that we refer to this as homework. It's really
Yes.
great that. Here we go, Jane. Well, everyone, as you will be well aware, we have two fashion weeks a year. Unfortunately, with us being locked inside for this first portion of the year, we've almost missed out on an entire season's worth of fashion on the high street, and it's a very much uncertain time to know exactly what we're doing in terms of where we're going, where things are heading, which has meant that this year, with all Fashion Week presentations, things have been a little bit kind of, unpredictable, a bit out there, a bit up in the air, but it's still, without a doubt, a lot of creativity comes through at times like this. And there's quite a lot of good things for us to look at. A lot of trends which I'm happy to say that we've already got pieces either in the mix or that are in existence that are bang on trend. So there's a lot that we can discuss tonight. Jane's had a number of pictures sent her way, as she did back in November, December, after the spring summer fashion week then. And I know that Jane had a lot of fun creating those looks. So we're back at it again, guys, and we've got autumn winter, as Jane said. I'm so sorry. I know we've not even experienced summer yet, but we're already talking about winter. Get ready for it.
Thank you, Bradley. Yeah, I think the clock's changed this weekend, and we actually officially go into summer. So we are slightly ahead of ourselves this time. But great for all of you to actually start thinking about maybe you want to change of style, a change of look coming for those autumn and winter months, which would be quite nice. Any comments? Just pop them down in the chat and into the comments boxes, and Bradley will send any questions my way as we actually go through this evening. I've got several different styles that I'm trying to recreate for you using our wigs, and I'll tell you what the wigs are that I'm actually using as well, in case that's the ones you get inspired to actually purchase from us. With the images that Bradley sent through to me, from what I could gather from them as well, the trend really is very chic, it's very bohemian, and there's lots of influences from the 70s and from the actual 90s. You've got things about a lot of floral jewelry, you've got biker style scarves, velvet headbands, and lots of pearls as well to accessorize. So I think moving on for these seasons, the autumn and the winter, you're going to have a lot of fun accessorizing your hair. I know when you look at fashions, you can see a lot of pearls that are coming through on blouses and jumpers and in the buttons. So there's going to be a lot of that going on as well. We've got really thick fringes coming back in, and hair is really going to be textured, but we're actually looking at very easy, doable styles that you're able to actually achieve at home as well. So it's nothing too complicated, nothing too out there that you're not going to be able to achieve. I think it's just getting that right wig and the right accessories to actually do it. So, Bradley,
Absolutely. Are you ready, Jane? You ready for task number one?
yes, let me bring
Yeah,
my
lovely.
head
Brilliant.
into
So
the
the first actual person that we're going to look at tonight. And now I say person rather than brand because the name behind this fashion range you will recognize straight away. So it's actually from Victoria Beckham's autumn winter collection for 21. Now Victoria Beckham spent a lot of time in Miami. That's news to me. I thought she was living out in the Cotswolds, but she spent a lot of time in Miami apparently. And there's a lot of influences come through from autumn and summer styles in her collection from that part of the world. You've got lots of those kind of muted pastels, lots of kind of 70s, retro, futuristic kind of color palette coming through. And that only lends itself really nicely to, as Jane has described, these real textured styles, these thick kind of chunky looks that are very simple, but a lot of the key details are in the texture of each look. So without further ado, this is the first thing for Jane to look at. Now bear with us while we get this screen sorted out and that there's 3 of us on here. There we go. Okay. So this is the first thing that we're going to look at. So we've got Victoria Beckham, and then we've also got Emporio Armani down in the bottom left-hand corner there. So the first thing I think we're going to look at is actually the Giorgio Armani, isn't it?
Well, actually, I had a different one we were going to look at first of all, but that's not a problem at all. But then I can't see the picture in the bottom. 1 second, because I need to get rid of. Bear with me, everybody. Sorry, we've got a little private chat screen that comes up that is actually covering that bottom picture. So I can see the top.
We're talking about everyone, behind the scenes here. We're having a right gossip at the same time.
Yeah, it's just if anything's going on, we've got this private little chat. Like earlier when I actually came on, I couldn't hear Bradley. So we were doing a little bit of lip reading and trying to get the sound sorted out. But that chat was actually covering Bradley's pictures that he's put up. So I was a little bit in the dock for a wee moment there. So yeah, we're looking at Armani, and we're looking at style in the bottom corner, which the hair has been put up very, very softly. So you've got some movement and you've got some texture to it as well. You'll notice in that picture, though, she's got quite a chunky fringe. I've not cut the fringe into this piece yet, but I thought I would do that live rather than actually do it beforehand for all of you. The wig that we're using for this particular look is our poppy, and the poppy is in the colour Sycamore Melange Rooted. So it's just got that hint of a root, just a very, very natural 1 to 2 centimetre root, more of a smudge really in this style. So hopefully you can all see that quite well on your screen. I'm just going to take a little bit of that front hairline out because I want to just create a little bit of softness and a little bit of texture around the face. And then I'm just going to take the rest of that hair back. And I'm going to do the same on the other side, but taking a little bit more out of that fringe area because I want to create that lovely heavy fringe that we've actually got in the picture for you. Again, just taking some little bits out around the side so we can create a soft little bit of texture and softness around that face. Then what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do this as simple as possible for you, not using too many pins, too many grips either. And when you're using combs or pins on a wig, you just need to be quite thoughtful about where you're positioning them so you don't actually damage that foundation when you're going through. So I'm just going to brush that hair very gently back. And the brush I'm using is one of our René Paris wig brushes. These are great for wigs, really good on the actual fibre that we actually make the wigs with. And the reason for that is, and I don't know if you can see it, it's got little nodules on the actual tips. And that actually helps protect the fibre. It stops the fibre from actually tearing. So always, again, important to think about what brushes you're using when you're brushing any of your wigs. So I'm taking it up to about the midway point at the back of her head, just holding the hair in one hand and just making sure it's really quite nice and smooth. So that's where we've got to at the moment. And then all I want to do is put my finger in on the underneath and give it a little twist. And by giving it that little twist up, I can then just take a couple of grips. So just take a normal grip and just pin that hair in. And all we're creating is just a really soft little updo, taking that hair away from the nape. And then what I'm going to do is just soften that hairline off ever so slightly, so it doesn't actually scream out that you're wearing a wig. Again, with a couple of pins, I'm just going to pin that top down just to make it quite soft. So you can see I've used 4 pins in total just to create, and it's almost creating just that little soft pleat for you. So it's got that nice smooth movement at the back. I'm then going to just, again, take a pin and just lift out some of those shorter pieces. So I just want to soften that top area, make it look a little bit fluffy and a little bit soft. These are very unstructured ways to actually put your hair up, so it's going to be really easy for any of you trying to do this at home. The next thing I'll do,
the whole influence behind this look, and you've kind of nailed it with what you said. So Giorgio Armani was actually quoted as saying that the reason they've gone for hair in this way during this season is they predict a very cautious return to nights out and getting dressed up, which makes complete. I mean, that's the key word, right? Absolutely. So they were actually the first fashion house to pull out of all fashion weeks during the pandemic back at the start of last year. So as soon as things started to take off, you know, in terms of the coronavirus, they pulled out. So this is their return to Fashion Week this year, and it's very much just that, a cautious, soft kind of adaptation of what you could do at home, but you could wear out as well.
and it's a look really. You can wear your hair long for work during the day. You're going out for drinks after work. Just pop it up, a couple of pins, and off you go. And you've created a completely different look for yourself. If you didn't want to go for that short fringe, you don't need really to actually cut a fringe into this at all. But I'm doing as the picture shows. So I'm just taking a section across that front and then using my razor, I'm just going to actually slice the hair coming down at an angle. So we're getting more of a side fringe for this particular lady. I'm going to join in a little bit more hair because I want it to be a little bit more weighty than that to give it a real fringe look for you. And I'm using a razor because the hair then is going to look quite textured on the ends, and it's going to actually look as if the hair or that fringe is beginning to grow out ever so slightly. For the little pieces down through the side, again, just going to take them off just a little bit shorter for you. And because you've got that little bit of wave in the poppy, you can actually just tweak it to get the curls to go where you want them to go. If you want to take a little bit of that hair away, which I think I will do, you can just take it and actually just pin it back up by just popping another pin into it. So you can actually build up that shape as well as you're actually going along with the styling to actually suit yourself how you actually want it styled. I'm just going to mess this up a little bit more. And then by using a little bit of spray, again, this side, I just want to take away a little bit of that hair. I don't want too much down through that side. So again, I'm just going to take this piece up out of the way and just pin it to where I actually want it. So it's very, very much freestyle. As I said, it's not too structured at all. And we can just curl those little side pieces around. I'm going to take one of our products, and this is one of our aftercare products that we use. It's one of the actual finishing products by BECKHAM that you can buy on our website or ring us up and get it mail order. And this is just going to create a little bit of texture and just hold that hair a little bit in place for me. So it's just going to stay perfectly as it is when she actually goes out into the fresh air. And then if you wanted to take it one step further and you wanted to accessorize it a little bit more, as we said before, pearls are really kind of in fashion for this coming season. You can just take a little pearl clip. I've just got pearls here that are on just these little teeth. Again, easy just to pop in the hair where you actually want it. And for the evening, it just really dresses that look up for you. I think it's kind of a really simple look, but quite a great look as well, going from the office and out for a date or out for dinner with somebody. And there we go. So that was our first one, which was a Marnie.
It was.
And your,
looks really nice.
And your thoughts, Bradley?
I think it's really good. And I think, as you said, you don't even have to have the fringe with this. I think the loose kind of, the loose feel of the actual texture of the hair and how it's been put up, it just really is the epitome of that boardroom to boardwalk kind of thing, isn't it?
It's lovely. And I think sometimes, when you've got long hair, you're wearing a wig and it's long hair, you want to be able to actually wear it a lot of different ways. And this is just a really simple way. I would say always remember just to keep that hairline quite soft as well. Always pull the hair just ever so slightly forward. It just keeps it softer around that nape and that neck area to make it look a lot more natural for you. So yeah,
So
nice.
That's lovely. And we've got a question about this, which is actually quite an interesting one, which I'm hoping you'll be able to help with. So we've been asked, it's good to see you styling on a stand like that, but when you do that at home and then you try to put the piece on, it's quite easy to mess up the look you've created. Is there any tips on how you get it from the mannequin head onto your head without ruining it?
Very good question, because it is really, once you've done something, say, quite delicate, and then you want to put it on, is making it as secure as possible when it's on the actual poly head, for when you actually lift it off and put it onto your own head. And you should be all right. You might need to just tisfate it slightly once it's on the head, or otherwise I would say maybe just a bit of practice, because something like this is something that you would be able to do with a little bit of practice, keeping the wig on your own head as well without taking it off. So I'd just sit in front of your mirror maybe at the weekend or one day when you've got a little bit of time and just play around with that look to see what you can actually achieve. But yeah,
I think it's one of those tricky things, Jane, as well. Where you're used to, if you're looking at something face on of how you want it to look, and then you put it on your head and in a mirror, it's suddenly flipped the other way, isn't it? So it's kind of hard to work out.
I know when I kind of twist my hair up and do it, I tend to do it just I feel. I don't look at what I'm doing at all. I kind of brush it and just put it up and then just fiddle around with it afterwards. And I think with wigs, it's easy and it is a very doable style that you can actually do to actually keep it up. If you couldn't secure it with pins, another thing you could do, you could actually get one of these little clips. Again, this one's all embellished with pearls, which is beautiful. And you could always just put that into it, and that's just going to give you, take that one out, give you that little bit more security and actually keep the hair in place for you. So you might feel that that's a little bit easier to actually use a little clip like that as well. So there's lots of different options for you.
Lovely.
So yeah, easy, nice and easy to do, and I'm sure all of you will be practicing it, well, hopefully practicing all this at home, and then you'll be able to actually just send us some images to see what you actually do look like. The next one is just so easy, really, and as Bradley said, this is Victoria Beckham. So we're looking at really bobs with a fringe, or with a really heavy fringe, or bobs without a fringe. But the key to all of these is that they need a little bit of texture to them. I'm just taking this particular one. This is the Nakia, which is from our high fashion collection. And this is in stock now. It's available to go. And what you can actually see, we've got that fringe in there straight away for you, which sits really nice and flat onto your actual forehead. So it gives you a really nice shape and a really nice silhouette. I'm just going to pin this wig on to make it secure for me to play around with. And all you want to do really is with something like this, as in the pictures, just to actually get your bob, if it's a slightly longer bob, get one that's got a couple of layers to it, and just that little bit of texture and that little bit of movement. And that is as simple as it is. We've got lots of wigs that actually, you know, will work for that style. Again, you can use the spray that I was using before, the windblown, which is that one, because that gives the hair, again, a lot more texture as well. So I can put that through, and it would actually just create a little bit more texture, a bit more fluffiness, as you can actually see on that side where I've actually put it. Again, if you wanted to actually change the look slightly, and it's kind of almost going for that kind of trashy glam look, really, is what we're actually going for. You can actually get headbands with pearls on it. And again, you can just position your headband on top of the actual wig. But instead of just having all that hair just falling all the way over your face, I think it's quite nice if you just take a section of it. And again, don't be too neat with any of this, because we want all that kind of movement going on. Just take a section of that hair, and you can, with your band, just wrap the hair underneath that band. It's hiding and disguising a little bit of the actual band and just leaving those pearls on the top. But I think it just creates a nicer kind of frame to the face and softens it off slightly as well. We're just going to take a little bit from the other side. And again, just lift that band up and twist that hair underneath. And what you've actually achieved then is just more of a kind of a trashy glam look by using pearls. You could use diamonds in there as well. But again, it's a really simple look, going from work and going, you know, straight out for that evening when you want to actually just go straight out with friends on that evening when you go out. So that's so simple to do. There's so many bobs, so many styles now in the collection. They've got that lovely soft movement to them as well. So that would be really easy for any of you to achieve. But that little look, and by doing that little twist of the hair coming underneath, it secures that band there. And any of you who feel a little bit insecure when you're wearing your wigs, you think they might slip, that's going to anchor your wig in place for you as well. So it's giving you that little bit more security as well when you're actually out and about, particularly if it's a bit of a blowy day, a little bit of a windy day as well. So there we go, Bradley. Look number 2.
Very good. And do you know what it reminds me of before? We discussed, it might have even been the Nakia, where we talked about that kind of texture that comes with the piece. It's quite yummy mummy. That's how you described it before. It's very London, that sort of soft wave that's not quite there that is. And that's exactly what this whole runway show embodied. And I mean, it's Victoria Beckham, isn't it? That's her whole thing, right? Kind of yummy mummy.
It is really, yeah, bless her. But it's such an easy look to achieve as well. And it's something you can really dress up, or you can actually really just dress it down. You can just wear it with a pair of jeans and a pair of Converse and a sweatshirt, or you can put a silk blouse on with your jeans in, put in a little tiara like this, some pearls or some diamantes in. It just dresses that whole look up for you. I quite like it. I think it's a really nice, easy look to actually wear, which is great. And again, if you're going to do it without a fringe, make sure you go for a centre parting this year. Centre partings for the winter and autumn are going to be all the rage. Forget about your side partings and everything else. Try to go for that solid centre parting, because they're going to be a lot more fashionable if you're not going to go for that heavy fringe. I'm just going to slip her off, see if we can get her back onto the head as she is. There we go. And actually, a look like that, if you're getting married, you could do that with flowers on the top and just twist it around on a band of flowers. Or even if you've got bridesmaids as well, it's a little look you can actually do with your bridesmaids. So it's quite versatile with every kind of occasion that you're going to be going to, I think, which is great.
Yeah.
And we've got some nice comments coming through. Not tried that before. Looks lovely. Thank you. Do try it. It's a really easy one for you to do. Really easy. All the ones we do, we try to actually make it as simple as we can, so we know you're going to be able to actually follow all these kind of styles at home when you actually want to do it at home.
Absolutely. We've seen this year there's been some real avant-garde stuff coming through, and I'm talking plaits that go up round here like this. That's kind of the thing that's not going to be wearable on a daily basis, and it's also a lot of effort for you to do. So everything that we're showing you are things you can achieve at home, but also things that you're going to see coming through on the high street in your everyday fashions. And it's just, it's nice, it's wearable. You wouldn't see it and think, oh my goodness, what are they doing? It's very, very tame.
I think that's the thing with this coming seasons, isn't it? Autumn and winter. It is the fashions. They've really kind of pared it back to actually make it accessible to everybody, and for everybody to actually be able to achieve those looks as well, which I think is really important when you're trying to copy the high street looks, or those catwalk looks onto the high street. It's got to be something that you can do quite easily yourself. And I think, the couple of looks we've done so far, those have actually been quite simple little looks that you can actually do. But it just changes the whole look of that wig as well for you.
Definitely. So you ready for your next one, Jane?
I am, Bradley. Yes. Throw it at me.
Right. Here we go. So next up, we've got my favourite, Versace. So this collection is actually quite a big deal, because Versace have, after God knows how many years, they're replacing their monogram, which is quite sad because it's the very famous Greek key that we're all used to kind of seeing. They've got a new take on that. It's very inspired by the 70s, which obviously lends itself very well to the styling of the things they've created for this latest collection. It's kind of like a futuristic sci-fi take on the 1970s, with a lot of satin and kind of silk shiny materials, all featuring that U monogram pattern, and the headscarves that go with it. So this is a big look that we're seeing a lot of scarves and headwear actually making a real debut on the catwalk in most collections this year, actually. regardless of whether it's something that fashion collection or fashion house even has really presented before. So Jane, what are we going to do to try and fit in with this one?
Quite simple, really. This is a human hair wig. This is the amber, which we've used previously because we actually coloured it and actually done a colour effect on this wig. We've blow dried the hair quite smooth and away from the actual face, and you can see it's quite smooth through that back section. So I'm just going to actually show you first about the different scarves and how easy it is just to tie a scarf on, or looking at turbans as well, because we've got that real boho look going on, and all that influence coming through. And also hats as well, winter hats. If you're wearing your hair kind of sleek like this, you can have it quite textured through those ends, and we've got it quite textured. If I take it off the head, you can see the ends of that hair. We've actually layered it through quite a lot, so it's quite textured as well. So we've got a couple of scarves. We've just got a black square one, so just an even black square scarf. And if you fold that into a triangle, so just like this, and then, and this is quite slippery because it's a silky one. Bradley's gone and got me, so it slips inside. Yes, thank you, Bradley. And what you can do is just put it on the head, and it's really simple. Just tie it in a knot to secure. It looks almost, to me, it's got like a little pirate kind of hat at the back, so it's just secured there.
It does.
With a little knot. And then on the actual front, you've just got that really simple look. So again, that is something that any of you could achieve with a silk scarf. You could use a pattern scarf, you could use the flora scarf, whatever you wanted to do. So again, just a really simple, easy way to actually do it. If you suddenly get caught in the rain or you're at work, just keep a scarf in your bag and you can just actually put it around your hair to actually keep the top of your hair dry. So that's really easy. Bradley was wondering how we were going to tie that. And now we know.
Yeah, I'm very much looking to try that myself. I think that'd be a good one for the summer.
You keep wearing your hats, so maybe you can start wearing your scarves as well, Bradley.
Yeah, we'll change it up. It'll be quite S Club 7, I think, for me to be doing that.
I'm just going to get rid of that little scarf. Another great thing to do, because we've got that real boho look going on this autumn and winter, is I've actually taken part of one of the Christine headwear scarves, and this is from their boho collection. So it comes with a turban, but it's also got a detachable band to it, so you can just get a band like this. It's got, as you can see, different textures and colours of material, and that's what it's all about, is texture and building up all of that texture as well. And again, very, very simply, you can just pop it over the actual front and top of your wig, and you've got that really nice, simple look going on. It just takes the wig to a different dimension, I think. It really dresses it for you. Great for work, great for going out in the evenings again.
So James, what sort of things did you do to the wig to get it so sleek and so smooth? Is there any kind of products that you'd recommend, or a method of drying it if it's a human hair wig? What would you do?
What I actually done when I washed this one, to make things really, really simple, I just washed it and conditioned it using our Pureology products. And then I actually just brushed it through put it onto the head, brushed it through really gently in the position how I wanted it to dry. And I just left it then to dry overnight. So it dried really sleek for me. After it was dry, I took another product from Redken, which is called the Wax Blast, which is great for styling, great for adding texture as well, but really good for smoothing the hair. So I just took some of the Wax Blast, just put some of that over, and just smoothed all that hair through. And you can see just by smoothing it through, it gives it that lovely sheen and luster as well on the actual hair. So again, just very, very easy to do. And that's all I actually done. And by leaving that human hair to dry naturally, the hair is going to actually last a lot longer. You're going to get a lot less hair loss with it as well. So if you've got time and you're able to do that, it's another easy and a really good thing to actually do. Again, before I move on to actually putting it up, this one, Christine Headwear also do kind of woolen turbans. And again, these look great for the actual winter. It's, you know, you can just pop those on top of your wig and off you go, and you've got a really nice look going for a walk in the country, on the beach, and it's going to keep you nice and warm and keep your hair looking really nice as well. So think about all the accessories that you can actually purchase from us, from the high street, and think, you know, a little bit outside the box. See what you've actually got at home that you can actually use.
Well, Jane, interestingly, looking at also the DIOR presentations this year, we also had very similar things to what you've just shown us. So we actually had the kind of velvet velour, almost band, you know, that I definitely have seen within the Christine Headwear range, and also using kind of scarves as more of a hood and tucking it inside your jacket was, I mean, it's quite. It looks quite surprisingly chic. It's quite Audrey Hepburn-esque in a way, even though you don't really see people doing that anymore.
I think it looks really nice. I mean, it's quite vintage, isn't it? It's kind of going back more to your 50s and that kind of look. But I think by doing that, it's protecting your hair, but it's also making that statement as well. And I think that's what it's all about, is making a little bit of a statement, but it's also bringing out your own individuality. Because all of us have got our own different personalities, how we dress, how we do our makeup, how we do our hair. And I think by doing something like this, you can really bring out that individuality in the actual person, which is great. And did we have one with a ponytail for this one, Bradley?
Ooh, for the Versace.
I think we had a ponytail, and we were going to actually embellish that with different headbands as well, because ponytails, again, they're really fashionable coming up for this winter season. And you can tie them with scarves, you can tie them with all different things. I'm just going to tie this one just with a hairband, and these are ones that most hairdressers actually use. And I just want to secure it there. You can get them in different colours, so they actually blend in with the actual colour of the hair. Again,
so Jess, the ponytail you're talking about, I've just realised it was the next slide. So the next fashion house we're looking at was Giambattista Valli, and you'll see in the smaller image there down on the left that everybody is wearing long, sleek ponytails, which have been accessorized with pearls, in the same way that the bob cut has been accessorized in the main image here. And the reason we're not looking at the bob is because that was the only bob in the entire catwalk show. Everybody else had ponytails. But you can see that in the bottom left image. So there you go. That's what you were talking about, Jane. You lost me there for a second, but I'm back in the room, guys. I'm back in the room.
With your ponytails, you can leave them nice and sleek. Plaits also featured a lot as well in a lot of the images. So you could always plait your ponytail if you actually wanted to. And then when you take it out at the end of the day, you're going to have that little bit of ruffled texture to it as well. So you can just do a simple little plait and then pop another band in it. If you wanted to use a scarf to tie around the bottom, then you can actually get scarves like this. They're actually on a hairband, so it's just like on a hair scrunchie. This one, again, you've got all that lovely pearl detail to it on the actual bottom, which is lovely. Again, it just dresses you up for that evening. So I'm just going to pop that on. Nice and simple. Again, lovely. And if I lift that up off the head so you can see it. A really easy little look, but you've got that pearl that you can actually just pull it across over to one short side if you wanted to and do a side ponytail, or just have that ponytail coming down nice and sleek. What a lot of the models were doing in the actual shows, and let me just take that one off a second, they were using all the lovely headbands again, and you can get some really fabulous ones. This one's made of velvet, and then it's got these gold beads on it. Very, very kind of Anne Boleyn is what came to our mind when we saw it today, wasn't it?
It
And when you
was.
put that on it, it very, very is, you know, that kind of look. Again, it just really dresses that wig up for you. And if you wanted to take, you can keep your ponytail in. If you wanted to take that ponytail out, again, do like I've done before by taking a little bit of that hair and just wrapping it around the end of that band, because it just, I think, gives it a nice shape and contour just coming across that face. And then you can just have it all nice and sleek at the back as well. So great little things that you can do for work every day, going out. And I think we're going to see quite a lot of this look on the high street and on a lot of young girls as well. And this is a timeless look, really, I think, Bradley. So any age.
Definitely. It's been around since the 1600s, Jane.
Very good. That's very good, yeah. Brilliant. I love it. But I like taking the actual hair across the actual end of those bands. But it just dresses that wig up beautifully. So it is thinking all about texture, thinking about what you can accessorize your hair with, and thinking about the products as well to keep that hair in tip-top condition if you are going to be wearing it longer, because that's a really important thing. You don't want hair that is going to actually look untidy or a little bit ratty on the end. Keep it in a really nice condition. So
That's it. And I think, Jane, the whole kind of idea behind that catwalk show, and quite a lot of the ones that we've seen this year, it's just about really embellishing these textures with pearls and all sorts of things, and just being a bit more playful with quite glamorous, out there kind of looks, aren't they? Really, that to embellish yourself with pearls before going out is quite a statement. But then to lead on from that, we've also seen
really nice.
the next person who I'm going to talk about. So we've got MOSCHINO is the next one, and it really goes into that old school Hollywood glamour with some real accessorizing going on. And I think those stars right there, is it Zeitgeist Girl? It's a very old film, black and white one. I think it's Hedy Lamarr, has all these stars coming out of the back of her head. Very futuristic kind of space age stuff. And then we've got Dita Von Teese in the corner there, almost looking like some kind of Valentine's Day Mickey Mouse. It's all very cartoon, you know, film, cinema kind of influence with those retro Hollywood waves as well. So this is your next one. I think this one's more of a challenge.
There is that real Hollywood glamour again, isn't it?
Yeah.
With this one, it was a little bit more of a challenge to find the right wig to actually work with in the beginning. Again, I wanted to find something that almost had a centre parting to it. I'm just off centre. I know I'm not quite centre as much as I wanted to. And the wig that I selected for this was the Jaden, which is from the Noriko collection, and the colour was a coffee latte. And that wig comes with a very nice soft wave, but I wanted to tame that wig down and the curl down. I actually cut some of that length off the actual back and through the sides to give it that more heavy, blunt look to it. I didn't want any really soft ends. I wanted it quite heavy and weighty through the ends, which I think we actually achieved there with the cut. Um, and then I just teased the hair through to actually make that curl a lot softer as well. And just by using my brush again, I just want to put a nice lot of shine onto the hair because we are looking at that Hollywood glamour, really. So I'm just going to use the Wax Blast again. And I think I'm swallowing as much as this is going on the hair. And it just really gives me that nice shine. And then I just want these curls to be quite bouncy. The hair coming in quite sleek into the side of the actual head, but just keeping all those curls just on the actual end. If you've got a human hair wig, you could do this quite easily. Just either take it to your salon, you know, the wig shop where you bought it from, and they'd be able to set it for you to get that curl into it and then just dress that curl out. But it just gives it a very nice little wave. So all I'm doing is just really dressing that curl, making it go where I want it to. So I'm just putting it into more of a wave. And then, so you can see what I'm doing to this front section. I'll work this side for you. Just smoothing that down. And just pop a little bit more of my Wax Blast onto this. And this is when you might want one wig for an evening, one for the actual daytime, because once you've put all this product into it, you might not want to be going out dressed quite so much and quite so glamorous in the day. So you might want to keep one wig, especially for that really glamour look that you're going for. So again, just teasing those curls as we move around. Can you still hear me, Bradley?
I can indeed. I've muted myself then.
Do you know, because the sound went off and I thought, I'm talking away and I didn't know if I was talking to myself. And that's
No, I
kind of,
muted myself because I had a message come through saying that people could hear me typing back to people in the comments. I thought I don't want to be beating a drum over you speaking there, distracting everyone.
And I suddenly thought I'd lost my sound. That's okay.
No, you won't. You can't get rid of me, Jane. Unfortunately, I'm lingering like a bad smell.
Right, so I've got that really sleek, lovely wave to it that I wanted, with that lovely kind of glamour look on the underneath, which is lovely. And again, to really dress that up if you wanted to, you can go quite over the top. We've got a little tiara that I'm just going to place on the top of her head. And again, you know, party season, maybe getting married, another look that you can actually do with your wigs to actually really dress that hair, I think. And such a quite an easy one to do with the actual What Right wig, or very easy for your hairdresser to actually achieve for you as well. So I'm just going to bring a little bit of wave over her eye because I think that just makes it look a little bit kind of more sexy just by bringing that forward. Makes her look a little bit more mysterious. And yeah, your finished look.
I
So
love that, Jane.
that's our
It's
take
very,
on good
it's
glam.
very classic. It's very classic. It's really,
It's
really
lovely.
beautiful.
Yeah, yeah,
I think
really
that colour really lends itself well to that style as well. It's just
does. You've got
beautiful.
those different tones going through it as well, isn't it? Um,
So,
a
which
great,
wig was that again, Jane? We've had a customer asking about it.
it was the Jaden that
The
I
jade, of
selected.
course.
Yeah, and that's from the Rico collection, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, beautiful. Just a really lovely, glamorous look, isn't it?
it really is.
And you can, yeah, you can really dress that up. I mean, I can imagine somebody, you know, getting married, going to a really nice function, and actually wearing their hair like that and feeling $1 million, really, isn't it? So yeah, I enjoyed doing that one. It was a little bit more of a challenge, but it was a really enjoyable one to actually do and to achieve as well, I think, with our wigs. But
Definitely, and
very
it's something a
simple.
bit different, isn't it? I think it's very much the complete opposite of what we've all experienced for the last year, because you wouldn't necessarily set your hair in these kind of retro finger roll waves and things like that just to sit around the house. I mean, you might. If you do, I applaud you, but I personally can't be bothered.
I think for the last year, we've all got quite lazy with
Yeah,
what we actually do with our hair, with our makeup. It's kind of, it's not that we don't care, it's just that who's going to see you and what are you going to do, isn't it? So
yeah,
it's been quite easy just to get up on a morning, throw your kind of lounge suit on for the day, tie your hair up in a pony, and not really bother. And I think by doing something like this, if you are going somewhere, it would actually, you know, create that really nice wow look for you as well, which is great.
yeah.
Again, lovely frock on, isn't it? But really
It really
nice.
is.
Yeah.
And it's that thing again, Jane, with, as you said earlier, the curls really coming through. And I think we can see that in the next one that I want to put to you, which is
Oh,
the Isabel Marant collection. Now, this one, I have to say, I absolutely love. And the idea behind this entire collection, basically, the team there just said, you've all been in your pajamas now for a year. We want to make
yeah.
things simple but wearable for you. The collection was all about blurring the boundaries between the retro and the futuristic. It's influenced heavily by techno music, going out and staying in. So they wanted to blur the line between your night out listening to techno music and your night in your pajamas watching Netflix. They wanted to blend glamour and comfort, masculine and feminine, and I think they've done that so well with just this look alone, which is very influenced by, it's quite 70s, I
Yeah.
think. What do you reckon, Jane?
I think, yeah, very, very 70s. It takes me right back to the 70s when I was actually doing all my hairdressing training, looking at those kind of looks. And again, it's looking at all the influences, isn't it, for the coming seasons. It is about embracing your curl. So if you're somebody and you've got your own hair and it's curly, really do embrace it. But for those of you wearing a wig and maybe you've always worn a straight wig, you've not played around with texture or curl, maybe it's that time to actually have a look to see what you can actually do and actually try something curly. It gives you that really nice softness as well. It's that kind of shaggy, natural textured look that we've actually got, isn't it? Which is great. When Bradley gave me this picture, yeah, somebody said, Paula, the shaggy perms. And it's like all those perms that keep trying to come back. But I think this coming season, autumn and winter, we're going to see a lot of those perms actually coming back in. For this look again, I actually went to our stock and I picked from our wigs that we actually have is one from our Premium Plus collection, which is the Sensu collection, Premium Plus. And this style is the 402. And as you can see, it's got that really...
It's pretty much there already.
It's pretty much there already. It was, yeah, kind of almost fluke, really, Bradley. This was a very easy one, obviously, for me to achieve. I've teased out those curls a little bit, and I've added a little bit more curl into it as well. It's got that really soft, tousled fringe. It really kind of goes along the look of like Mark Bolan, if you like. Well, that's showing my age now, isn't it? Taking you right back to the 70s. And this is the kind of look he would have had. David Essex, he always had that really shaggy kind of curly look as well. And I think it is that look that you can actually wear, you know, females or males. It doesn't actually matter. It's just a great look. So with this one, I've teased out the actual curl. As you can see, we've got quite a blunt line in the bottom. And that's another thing that we're looking at as well with the styles, even though we want that little bit of texture, if it's straighter, or even if we've actually got something with curl, we're still all about quite heavy blunt lines as well. So none of this soft tapering, it is all quite heavy looks to it. With the Premium Plus collection, though, these are made with a high heat fibre. So if you've not seen this collection before or worked with it, you can actually put heat onto this collection of wigs. Normally with a synthetic wig, we always actually say, don't put any heat on it, don't blow dry it, definitely don't straighten it or curl it. But with the Premium Plus wigs, high heat fibre, you're able to. And I'll just show you quickly how you can actually put a little bit more curl into that if you wanted to. If you're going to put more curl into it, you need to use a pair of straightening irons that have got a temperature gauge on it. These have got a temperature gauge, as you can actually see. And always test it on the underneath, where if you damage the hair, it's not going to actually matter quite so much. And when we're looking at the temperature, we're going to be looking at around about 140 degrees. Don't use, if you've got GHD straighteners at home, or your daughter or mum's got a pair of GHDs, please don't use those, because they will just damage that fibre for you. They're too hot and too strong. Before you use straighteners on this product, and let me just select an area to do it, always work with small sections and spray some heat protector onto the hair first. And this is the moisture protection that we're using to actually spray onto the actual hair. And then you can take your straightening irons and just curl the hair as you would your own hair. Hold the curl on that heat, on those heated plates, for a few seconds, maybe about 15 seconds. You can just tap it with your fingers just to make sure it's not too hot. And then leave that curl just to cool down, and then move on to actually do the next curl as well. So it's really easy to put more curl into it or to actually take some more curl out of it for you. And I'll just do another little curl here. So it's very much like having your own hair back, playing around with your own hair and being able to do things with it. And for me, I think having curls coming back in is lovely. I'm naturally curly, so it means that I'm probably going to be seen a lot more with my natural curls instead of doing it straight, because it's going to be a lot easier. But I think it is just having a little play. If you've never been curly, get a curly wig and just try how you like it in what you can actually do with it. And you can do so much. Again, this is actually, that lovely shape and length, because we're actually quite sharp at the bottom. It's that heavy bob shape, but it's just very soft everywhere else. As you can see, my curl's still there. Absolutely beautiful. And when you wash it, that curl is actually going to remain there as well. So it's literally just wash it and go, and you're going to be left with this really soft curl. Again, if you wanted to soften this off, and this is when it, you're getting really retro now, you could just take some of that hair away from the actual side. And again, just twist it up, and maybe just with a little comb with those lovely pearls and diamantes on it again, just pop it into the side of her head. And then you've got a really nice evening look that you can actually be going out with as well. So simple little looks that you can actually achieve, but I think look really, really quite good and easy to do as well, which is great. So yeah, that was quite an easy one, Bradley, because I was almost there.
I mean, I would love to really grill you now and say I feel like you cheated with that one a little bit, but I think this is the first time I've seen this wig that's actually not a photo of it in the brochure, and I love it.
It's lovely.
I think it's great. It's really, really nice one, isn't it?
It's absolutely beautiful. The curls are just so soft. Just, yeah, really nice. And the high heat fibre that this is made with, this hair is just silky. It just feels like somebody's growing own hair as well. So beautiful to wear and very easy to actually look after. Yeah, a great look. Really
You're
good.
absolutely right about the perms and the shaggy perms, because I have read as well that is making a huge comeback in the coming months. So it's quite exciting, really, because it's another level of creativity, isn't it? That I think we can all kind of get involved in. And we were talking as well, weren't we, the other day, Jane, about giving me a little bit of a wave at some point. It's definitely been something we've been discussing.
We are, yeah. Once we're all allowed back again, you're going to have a perm, aren't you?
But we'll see if it might even look like that the way I'm going at the moment.
Longer and longer, isn't it? So yeah, but really easy to do, really great. And you might have noticed when I put this wig onto the poly head, I didn't actually pin it on to do any styling work to it. And that's because, and you can see how secure that is. And that's, yeah, Bradley with a perm set, somebody said, yeah, definitely. That's because with this foundation, and let me just flip it around to show you, because I know some of you won't know about the Premium Plus collection. It's actually got at the sides some anti-slip PU, which is the same PU that we use on our hauled-up stockings so they don't slide down our legs. And we've got it going around that horseshoe circumference there and just across that front area. So again, a really, really secure wig for those of you who feel a little bit insecure when you're actually wearing them. Let's just pop that one back there. But yeah, that was, Bradley, I would say, when you probably thought that was going to be quite a tricky one for me.
I did.
Forward again.
You've done really well. You've nailed all of those looks tonight once again.
That was quite an easy one to actually do, and just a great fun one. And just a little one I've got here. This is talking about texture and wave and curl. This is a long human hair wig. This has actually been custom made. That's why it's actually so long. And we've made it with that curl. I actually just washed it again. I left it to dry completely on its own, so it would dry quite smooth and quite flat for me as well. And I'm just going to grab a pin so it doesn't actually slide at all. And I'm looking for my pins. And I just wanted to kind of throw this one in. It's not one Bradley has actually asked me for. But because
It's not.
we
I'm
were
entertained now because this is a complete unexpected curveball. What's she going to do?
because we wanted to talk about texture and those kind of looks, I just wanted to take my fingers through this. So I left it to dry naturally. And now I'm just going to run my fingers through that just to break up that movement. And as you can see, if I turn her around, just breaking up that movement of the hair. So it's just almost ruffling it, really. Putting your fingers through all that length. And it's just beginning to give it a little bit more volume as we do that. And I think it just gives it that real kind of boho look that we're looking for. Again, keeping it to that centre parting, which is the all-important thing that we're doing for this coming autumn and winter. And it just takes you right back to that look in the 70s when we would actually have all of our hair just long, not a lot of structure to it at all, and just very easy to look after. Again, to take it away from your face, just to give it another look, you can just take 2 strands of hair and then just twist them over one another. Again, if you do it quite softly and quite loosely, you can just twist that. You could actually do it with a braid if you wanted to. So just carry on twisting. And then just tie that off to secure it for a moment. And I think for all of us born in that year of the 70s, 80s, this is all something we kind of, remember. Do the same on the other side, and let me just come round this side to actually do the same again. So just take a little bit of hair, 2 pieces, and just twist them over one another. Just like this.
There's a comment here, Jane, that's come through. This is very 70s, and I'm getting very Cher vibes. And you know what? I was literally just thinking it's like somewhere between Pocahontas and Braveheart.
Oh dear, yes, no, it is. Very good. I've got my band stuck in there. Lost them now. Okay, and then just take it and tie it off at the back of the head. Quite simple again. And you just have a really casual, very, very soft look that you can actually take from, daytime quite easily. If you wanted to dress it up in the evening, again, you can just put some hair accessories into it at the back just to dress it up if you wanted to. You can get these really good little clips now with lovely little pearls on. And again, you could just secure one of those into the actual side of your wig as well. So you can dress it all the way around for going out in the evenings. Again, just a really easy look. If you've got a wig, if it's a human hair wig, but it's actually quite straight and you wanted to achieve this kind of look, when you wash it, if you actually plait it in lots of small plaits, leave it to dry overnight, take the plaits out, and then just put your fingers through it, you're going to end up with the same look as well. So again, people wearing the diamond, people wearing the amber would actually be able to achieve all these kinds of looks with their wigs as well. So that was a
Jane,
little
for
you. This piece is actually custom made. So this is a Dermalite that's been made for somebody. And I just thought I would wash it through because it had such a nice curl to it and actually just use it for this evening's program. And I do have the permission of the lady who it belongs to as well. She was quite happy for me to wash it for her. So yeah, beautiful, lovely long hair.
That's really nice.
Which is nice. Yeah. Yeah. So I told her what I was doing with it. She was very happy, and she's going to receive it like this, all styled as well. So she was really quite pleased with that at the end of the day after I've spoken to her. But easy to do. Again, you know, you can do it nice and smooth and straight, or you can just actually really kind of play with that curl and embrace that curl in movement that you actually have, or that you can actually put into your wigs. So I think, you know, we've had quite a lot of really good looks this evening, Bradley. I think I've probably passed your task for this week, hopefully.
You have.
Thank you. And yeah, I actually quite like them. I've got a couple of favourite ones that I really, really like. And I think my the Hollywood Glamour has got to be my favourite because that was just so beautiful, wasn't it? And then just this really simple one with those little pearls on the top and just tied in at the sides. Lovely. Easy. Yeah. Actually very nice to actually be able to do. So hopefully all of you have been watching. You're going to be actually going on the website tonight, looking at all these different hair accessories that you can actually purchase and buy, get them all, and then actually when you go back to work, if you're back to work in on the 12th of April, you can actually go in with a new style, which is really great. And I think these, even though we're looking at autumn and winter for 21, all of these we can actually do, even now for the summer months, that they would work really well for those months as well. So yeah, great styles.
Definitely. I think my favourite tonight that you've done is probably the Hollywood Glamour one. Yeah. And I would absolutely urge anybody to go and have a look at that collection, the MOSCHINO Autumn Winter 21. It's so creative, so artistic. It's like it's almost like it's cartoon. So go and have a look at that once you finish this tonight. That's really amazing. And also go and have a look on our website because we've got a great filtering system where you can actually filter the styles by curl, by length, by colour, and you can really get to grips with what's available and how you can achieve these looks too. Final note, that black scarf, Jane, I think you might have to borrow that. That's my second favourite look for tonight. I'm going to try and rock that in the summer. I think that's a vibe.
We're going to see it on you one of these weeks then, Bradley. Instead of a hat, you're going to be wearing the scarf.
We'll change it up. Absolutely.
Yeah, why not? And next week, everybody, we're going to be back again at 7 o'clock, but we've got another guest speaker two guest speakers with us next week. And we've got Wendy and Phil from the Little Princess Trust. A lot of you probably know of the Little Princess Trust. You might have heard of the Little Princess Trust. If you want to know more about them, more about their charity, how it started, we're going to be in conversation next week with the Little Princess Trust. So do save a time slot for us at 7 o'clock, and it's going to be another really good evening. So hopefully we'll see you all then. And thank you for all your help, Bradley, and for my homework.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Yeah, to the next task. It's a bit like Challenge Annika, isn't it? Without me running around.
Yeah.
Without the tracksuit and running from building to building, but yes. The same difference. But great fun. Good to do. And proves that anybody can actually do it as well.
Definitely.
Brilliant.
Definitely.
All right.
So,
Well,
thank you very much.
tonight.
Yep. Thank you. Lovely to see all of you. Thank you for watching again, and a big goodbye from Bradley and a big goodbye from me. Thank you, everybody. Bye.